I want to see every Republican go on the record and knowingly vote against impeachment of this president, knowing his corruption, having it on the record so that they can have that stain on their careers for the rest of their lives.
That is Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Congress is back from recess, and it is so good to hear from her because we need it. She is calling for the impeachment of Donald Trump, and she is unafraid of possible political ramifications of pushing ahead with impeachment. Take a look at her full argument.
My constituents are absolutely supportive of impeachment. They're the ones that are being impacted the most in some ways by this president, whether it's immigrant families, whether it's military service members who are having or adopting children abroad, whose very citizenship is now in question, whether it's projects that are being halted, whether it's federal workers who had their salaries frozen at the beginning of this year. I mean, the corruption of this president knows no bounds, and in order to protect our democracy, we have to impeach him.
Are you worried, though, that this will fail in the Senate and ultimately it could be a problem for you politically come 2020 for the Democrats?
No, I'm not, because we as an independent body in the House of Representatives, we have to do our job. And I think that once the House impeaches, the House has impeached the president. And then that hearing goes to the Senate. If they want to fail it, then I want to see every Republican go on the record and knowingly vote against impeachment of this president, knowing his corruption, having it on the record so that they can have that stain on their careers for the rest of their lives, because this is outrageous.
You know, there is a growing number of Democrats in Congress who are supportive of impeachment. Democratic leadership is still afraid, and Nancy Pelosi still refuses to push ahead with impeachment. But more than half of the 235 Democrats in the House now support the start of an impeachment inquiry against Trump. Lawmakers said constituents at town hall meetings and other events over the summer break sent a resounding message that they want action and accountability. And I want to just quickly mention or emphasize some of the language we heard from AOC, because she said, you know, as the House of Representatives, we're an independent body. We have to do our jobs. She's referring to our system of government and the necessity for checks and balances in order for this democratic process to work. And I love that she understands and emphasizes the importance of doing her job as a representative.
And a priority above all things, which is what a lot of politicians are not doing. I personally feel like it's so refreshing to hear somebody who, when they say, "Aren't you afraid?" and she's like, "No, I'm not afraid."
Without it, she didn't miss a beat.
No, because we continue to. That's how they're driving the American people, by fear. And listen, you're out there creating these documents, these petitions, because you want to stop all this stuff. Send letters to your representatives calling for the impeachment of the president. Black and brown people and all of the intersections in between. Now we're learning. You know, I've talked to a lot of black people, African American black people, who were saying, hey, that immigration problem is not my issue. That Puerto Rican problem is not my issue. Well, now the Bahamas is experiencing what we felt with Puerto Rico. And my point is not to shame Bahamian people or the people who didn't think we were their problem, is to say, wake up and see what's going on, that the divide and conquer is real. And in the eyes of white supremacy, there is no difference between any of us. So now that those Bahamian people who are misplaced and are suffering right now, also being called drug dealers and whatever he said, just so that you know that in the eyes of a bigot, we are all the same. And so
remember, Fox thinks that there are 3 Mexicos. Because to them, you know, Guatemala, El Salvador, Honduras, they're not sovereign countries, just 3 Mexicos. It's all the same, right?
I just want to say on this fine Wednesday that AOC is definitely my woman crush Wednesday. It is so refreshing to hear people say what they mean and mean what they say. And I think it is important that we know who of those people holding seats are for keeping Trump in office, because they are supporting the separation of families. They are supporting incarceration. They're supporting black men being gunned down by law enforcement and black women. They're supporting all of these egregious things that continue to tie into this country's dark legacy. But also, it's very much like on Twitter, there was this whole conversation around Deborah Messing and the fundraiser for Trump that happened in Beverly Hills, and her saying, I think we should see a list of the people who attend, because this isn't Peggy Sue Allen from Middle America. This is actually people who are heads of corporations, people who are in the executive C-suite. All of these people have a huge impact, just like we found out about Netflix and the abortion laws, and some of these big names. And so I think that it goes back to our right to information, and it also puts the ball back in media's court to decide if they're actually going to be true to presenting people with facts and information, or if they're just continuing to be a cog in the wheel.
Yeah, it is fascinating to see all these people in positions of power feel as though they're being victimized because people are holding them accountable for what they're enabling in America today, right? I mean, it first started with Joaquin Castro when he wanted to share information about business owners in the state of Texas who fund Donald Trump. And he was doing that because, hey, El Paso just dealt with a mass shooting and the Republican Party refuses to do anything about gun control. And the reaction from the media, right? And also from lawmakers and how upset they were about that. Oh, this is doxing. You're victimizing these business. No, he's not. This is publicly available information. And in a democracy, we should be aware of how our politicians are influenced, who enables them. And in the case of AOC and impeachment, I think she's absolutely right. Get these Republicans on the record. Get them to say, no, we are complicit in Donald Trump's crimes, because that is what they are, crimes. He has enriched himself through his charitable foundation. He's enriched himself through the office of the presidency. It's a violation of the Emoluments Clause. There's the illegal hush money payments during the election. I mean, the list goes on and on. There's obstruction of justice. And then you have, the most depressing part about it is Democratic leadership enables it.
And there's a black lady in jail because she voted, and she was not supposed to vote. And this is the stuff that it just drives me crazy. The other thing is that Elizabeth Warren said it earlier. She was like, this is about accountability and responsibility. And if you want to double down because you are in the game and they're cutting you checks because you know you're getting checks cut, which is why you don't want to let go and you don't want to infiltrate and you don't want to expose because you don't want your pockets to be exposed for what it is, off with their heads. And once it becomes, guys, don't be afraid of it. The more we see it, the more, let's normalize holding people accountable for their corruption and their disruption of the American democracy.
Yes.
Say it with your chest. At the end of the day, people want to say it's about rights. You have a right to believe what you want to believe and support who you want to support. But if you endorse bigotry in all forms, sexism, racism, transphobia, gun protection, xenophobia, treason, just know that we are coming to remove you from that post, and you should say it with your chest.
Thanks for watching this free clip of the Young Turks. Don't forget to become a TYT member today. For more exclusive content, join now at tyt.com/join.